Bournemouth winless in 11, but enter Spurs to help. The gift that keeps on giving. Welcome to Project Spurs.
Oh, the streets are cold and grey, but the fire in our hearts won't stray from the pitch where dreams collide. We'll stand together side by side. Oh, when the Spurs go marching in, when the Spurs go marching in.
Hello, welcome back to Project Spurs. I don't know about Spurs marching in. I might have to change the intro video and song there, really. Post Bournemouth. Wow. As I said at the opener there, Bournemouth were winless in 11 games. Enter Tottenham Hotspur to change that. Unreal. Again, poor performance from Tottenham Hotspur. We are the gift that keeps on giving. Christmas isn't over in Thomas Frank's household. He is giving gifts out left, right and centre, and today's one is to Bournemouth. He is under, Thomas Frank that is, a huge amount of pressure. But we welcome back two guests as always, Phil and Sire with me. Callum will be with us shortly. Phil, just coming to you. We are the gift that keeps on giving at Christmas and actually all year round.
Just never changes, does it? Feels like we're on a never-ending, roller coaster where, the on-off switch is kind of jammed on, and it's just going round and round on the highs and lows. But at the end of the day, it keeps going back to the low. We see little flashes of positivity, then we go back. And regardless of the Thomas Frank kind of story in the background and where we are and the signings and the quality of the squad, you kind of put the nail on the head there a bit again, I think. The fact that we go to Bournemouth after them not being able to win for 11 games and it's docked to Tottenham again. The fact that Semenyo scores in the 96th minute in his last ever minutes for Bournemouth, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, you can, but it's just scripted, isn't it? It's just how much.
A Hollywood writer couldn't get this right. A Hollywood TV series of up and downs, the bad guys and all sorts just could not get this spot on at the moment. We've gone for injury crisis last year. We lifted a trophy. Now we're going for injury crisis. We lost the manager that. You couldn't have written Semenyo's last game better than that. He didn't do much in the game. Last minute of his last home game on his birthday, he goes and puts one in the back of the net to win 3-2 after not winning for 11 games in a row. So please tell me there's something surely we can get hold of here. Please, Si.
I wish I could tell you, Gary. I wish I could. Do you know what? I'm so deflated. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. As you guys and as all the viewers and listeners, I love this club with all my heart, and it hurts. It hurts at the moment. If I had a shirt and I was out on that pitch, I would give blood, sweat and tears. I probably wouldn't have the skill, but blood, sweat and tears to improve what we're doing at the moment. And I just feel some of those players aren't doing it. I live from paycheck to paycheck, month to month, so I can support my football club. And I go without things to support this club, and that'll never change. But I just wish the manager, the players, they just show the desire and the enthusiasm us fans would if we were out there. It's just so deflating, and it never changes. I don't think there's any Spurs fan that in the back of their mind was thinking Semenyo's going to score at the end. We all knew he would score at the end. it was just written in the stars. I don't know whether it's bad luck, whether it's just Spurs luck, or what. But I just got no words, and I could swear, but I'm not gonna. I'm just really, really angry, frustrated, and
words from
upset.
Thomas Frank. Words from Thomas Frank before the game, even before even his pre-game comments got a lot of stuff online. In pre-game, he said Bournemouth, in my opinion, are one of the most difficult teams to play against. To then put them in a sorry, that's my notes there. Bournemouth, in my opinion, are one of the most difficult difficult games to play against, or teams to play against. Phil, but they've not won a game in 11 on the trot. They haven't won since October up tonight, and we've gone in there with that attitude of we these are really tough. They shouldn't be tough. I can't. What is going on?
I mean, look, I as you know, I've been defending Thomas Frank, since he was appointed. I've been Thomas Frank in. I've said the whole time he deserves more time, right? Blah blah blah. I've also defended Thomas Frank against people who've, said that Thomas Frank's press conferences or quotes and all this kind of stuff, right, are not at the level of a Spurs or something like this, right? Whether it's you say he's, not at Brentford anymore, he's a Brentford manager or whatever, right? The way that he says things. Fact is, reading that and hearing that, he's too honest. Like, I get what he means, right? I don't know if he needs like some coaching even on how to express it. He's a very good communicator, right? He's very honest. Like he's too honest. Like he says it how he thinks. Like and it's not like he's being controversial. He's telling the truth. And I get what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that obviously playing Bournemouth is a tricky game because Bournemouth, they press, they're going to get in your face and stuff. But when he comes out and says something like that before the game, it makes our fans angry because we're like, why are we bigging Bournemouth up? As you said, they haven't won for 11 games. They've been rolled over by teams in that time. They haven't been playing good football. So why say it then? He could come out and say something like, he could say it differently, right? He could say, look, historically Bournemouth, have been, well set up, right? We all know that Iraola's a good manager. We know how they're going to play. However, we're going to come out there and we're going to do this, that, and the other. We have a plan for this. Bournemouth haven't won for 11 games, so we're going to go there and make it 12 games. Do you know what I mean? And look, why is he not coming out with stuff like that? Especially at the moment now, where, if I'm being frank, we've said it before, right? Last week, the week before that. His problem is going to be if he doesn't pick up enough points and pick up enough performances over 90 minutes, right? Because the fans are going to continue to go ever more against him. The split will become ever more bigger. The noise will get ever more bigger. Away fans, anyways, the home fans, will on the weekend probably protest in some shape or form. Looks like there's going to be lots of empty seats anyways, despite the tickets only being 30 quid a pop. So it's already going that way. And that's the problem. And he's not helping himself now by saying these things. And I don't think he realizes it. I don't think he gets it, actually.
Yeah,
when he said that before the game, he doesn't get it. I don't think he understands it. He thinks in his head, or out when he's saying it, he says that he thinks he's being clever. He's like saying the right way. He's communicating effectively. He's being honest. I get that. But it's the wrong thing to say, and it's the wrong way to say it, how he's positioned it. And if the players, my last point on it is, as a lot of other fans have been saying, well, the fans are annoyed because we're not Brentford and we're supposed to be going there and, taking the game to these people and also saying that we're going to take the game to these people. If the players are in any shape or form listening to that and not getting motivated in the right way, well, that's also going to have an additional impact on it, right? And maybe that is impacting on how the team sometimes in some phases of games is not managing games effectively or not playing progressive football enough. I don't know, but maybe it's a mixture of everything, but that's he has to do better. Thomas Frank has to do better on that because that is not good enough.
Phil, I think I keep saying this, it's the Brentford mentality that he's got. I still think he's managing with the Brentford mentality in that, he's looking at the opposition all the time and trying to instead of making the opposition scared of us. And, he's worried about the opposition where
Absolutely.
Tottenham should be going there and we should be asking all the questions of the opposition. And he's just not. He's so frustrating me at the moment. Really
I think Phil, you said the right thing there. That I don't think he gets it. I don't think he quite understands. And it's kind of weird saying that where he is because we are traditionally a very good winning football side, right? And we win things. In the Premier League era, maybe not as much as we wanted. We're a huge football club. I just like you say, Phil. I don't think he gets it. However, there is something that's come out on social media prior to the game. Now, I used to be a photographer, so I know that this is genuine because this is on Getty Images, and it doesn't get on Getty Images without a professional photographer taking that, and that it instantly gets uploaded. Now, this image prior to the game is Thomas Frank drinking out of an Arsenal cup.
This is so bizarre.
Now, there is two things that have happened, potentially have happened here. Bournemouth have given it to him and he's not realised, which probably is what's happened. He's been given that by Bournemouth personnel and he's just not shown any attention to it.
You've got to hope that's the case. You've got to hope that's the case.
This has not gone down well at all online. Someone at Gronked me, whatever that is, which seemed to be an AI robot thing on X that was having an argument with me, telling me it wasn't real. It is real. I have the link. It's a real image. Callum, he's just not doing himself any. He's just not getting any luck at the moment, is he?
Oh, it's a wonderful world. Oh, what can we say? It's one bad PR disaster after another. If, like you say, it is true, mate, I don't do photography. So I'm going to reserve it, but it doesn't look good. It has had everyone rolled up since half time. I'm like Si. I'm hoping that if it is a Bournemouth person giving it to him just to take the piss, then I'm hoping that he is that clueless that he hasn't realised, to be honest. But the fact it's been put up by, I think the Standard was the journalist who took it, Catherine Wild or something like that. It's someone who is at Bournemouth games quite a lot. So it's hard to say, but either way, it doesn't look good from a PR point of view, especially when the CEO is in the crowd as well today, because obviously he was flagged a couple of times for it as well.
I'm pretty sure that do you think it's going to get brought up in his next press conference?
I'm sure it will. I mean,
it will do. It will do.
100%.
Yeah, it will do. I think anything negative around him at the moment will be picked up. Just to highlight, we've got 400 people watching this at the moment, and we have been live for all of 13 minutes. That's fantastic. I know a lot of you are watching from my Twitter account, which is fantastic. I appreciate it. If you can go over to YouTube as well and just give us a little subscribe, that'd be great. That will really help us out in the algorithm over on YouTube. That number is still increasing, so it's fantastic again. Fortunately, we can't bring much positive news because, again, Tottenham have fallen to another defeat. As I said at the top of the show, Bournemouth, 11 games without victory. Enter Tottenham to help them, Callum. Try and dissect a little bit of that first half, because I could speak for quite a while about how disjointed and unbalanced we looked in stark comparison to how balanced we were at the weekend.
Yeah, it was kind of a half of two halves, weren't it? A good start from Bournemouth, we then took the ascendancy, and then realistically, that Bournemouth then just killed us off. It was weird. It felt structured for a time, and we had a real chance of probably taking the lead, I would say. But a lack of quality in the final third seems to be our undoing. And this man keeps coming up, and unfortunately, he is our captain, Romero. I don't know what has happened the last, I would say, probably 2 months now, realistically, since October, that there is too many questionable performances. And I feel like all 4 of us here are a broken record now, to be honest. We all constantly keep saying it, and I don't know what's going on. It's not positive, to be honest. And we are really, really pushing our luck in these first halves when we should be getting ahead. We end up fooling ourselves and going behind, and it just screws up anything, I think. And this, I don't think it's on the manager. I think this is on the players, to be honest. We get a lead and we just can't defend it. Realistically, It's really poor.
Yeah,
what's Frank supposed to do there?
Yeah. Well, he's not the one on the pitch, which we've used as excuses before under Ange, and he's not. But we've got a World Cup winning centre back that is making so many mistakes, and the biggest problem I have is this unbalance. And again, just coming to you on this. Bergvall is versatile, yes, but we're playing him out wide on the right. He's not a right winger. We've got a right winger sat on the bench. We've got 2 wingers potentially sat on the bench. Like, this is round pegs in square holes.
Yeah, guys, I didn't. When I saw the lineup, I didn't expect Bergvall to be on the right hand side. I expected him to be maybe in the number 10. Yeah, I was shocked to see that. I think, hopefully his injury is not too bad, but I think we actually looked better once he come on, and we got a bit more balance with Odegaard coming on and stuff like that. And you going on to the balance for me, I know we had a brief little chat earlier about it. Jed Spence at left back, it just doesn't work. He's right-footed. Ben Davies was probably, him and Tell were our best 2 players from the weekend, in my opinion. Give Ben Davies another start. You're going to get, he's Mr. Consistent, 7 out of 10, 6 out, whatever, a week. You know what I mean? Jed Spence at left back doesn't work.
No.
And it'll ruffle a few feathers, this, I know. I said to you, in my opinion, I think he's a little overrated. And as I said, don't bring me onto the Jed penitentiary either. He has, at the moment, he's got more escapees than he has incarcerated people, in my opinion.
Callum, just coming to you on Jed Spence. I put up on Twitter, Jed Spence at left back just doesn't work for me. A massive difference in balance from the weekend. It's not his fault, but why hasn't Davis either played or recruitment been brought in? I know we're heavily linked with the Brazilians. Left back Santos, but Sousa, sorry. Huge difference between the 2 games, especially down that left hand side, right?
Yeah, I've been banging on about Spence not being a left back since the summer. We was left short there. I would even rather play Van der Ven there because of that run that he made in the second half. Or like you say, we've got Davis who can play there. So realistically, it's just an unbalanced whole left-hand side, and you can see why the club want to address it. It doesn't work. We can now see that Spence is sort of starting to lose his left-back spot for England as well, because they've got Skelly, Miley, Hall, who all can play there as well, who are better, well-rounded players. And it's not just having an impact on the left for me, it's having an impact on the right. Pedro Porro tonight, and excuse my French, I don't want to swear a lot on here, but he looked fucked. He genuinely looked dead and tired and poor decision making. And we know he is one of the best right backs in the league. He has created, I think, the most or second most right back chances. And yet tonight he couldn't string a simple pass along. he's just dead. And we want Spence rotating with him, not rotating with or not being Udogie's cover because Udogie can't stay fit. And the Sousa one still is strange for me because realistically, he ain't going to be ready for the Premier League for 12 to 18 months. He's playing in a poor Santos team who are only just survived when they've got Neymar in it amongst some other legends. So it doesn't really bode well when we've been linked to a lot of other better left backs like Nathaniel Brown, Costello, Lukemba, people like that as well. There's a lot of problems here, and Spence on the left doesn't solve one of them for me, I'm afraid.
No, the defensive troubles are where things are starting to fall because at the beginning of the season, defensively I was quite excited by it. I'm convinced that Mickey van der Ven is probably going to end up at left back at some point. He's said multiple times he likes to play at left back. There's other players that we can bring in at centre back, right?
Gary, do you think that he's not putting Van der Ven at left back because he doesn't want to lose that pace at the back?
It's absolutely that.
Pace. I honestly think that's the reason, because to me, Danso's done enough to at least warrant a regular start. And
Phil, just bringing you in on this as well. Where are you with Mickey? And I agree with you, Si. Actually, yeah, I think that he's worried that recovery pace is going to be lost. But we look at Brighton. Look at the centre back at Brighton. That is Van Hinkel. Is that have I said that correctly?
Van Hecker.
Yeah,
Van Hecker. Van Hecker. He is fantastic centre back, but he's not quick. But he's positionally really good because he's switched on in his mind. That's the same with what Danso is like. I think defensively we are really struggling. And Romero, for me, again, he was at fault for that goal at the weekend, and he was at fault for this one here today, the first one.
Van der Ven should have played at left back months ago. In my opinion, I've been calling it for months, and I don't understand why he hasn't started there once. The fact that Davies came in and did such a good job, respect to Davies at the weekend, but he just showed straight away what balance brings you. And if you're actually playing left-footed balls like down the line, rather than what Spence tries and does, it just brings so much more to the team. I get, Simon's point there, like on the lack of pace or perceived pace. But unless if we actually play that in a couple of games, we don't know what impact that's going to have. You know, like why can't we just play it? Like if you partner Danso with Romero then and work on it, Danzo's shown enough that he can fill in there anyways. And look, at the moment, I'm so annoyed with Romero anyway that I think Romero deserves to go on the bench. I know he's the captain and I know he's a quality player, right? But he's made so many errors and he's just not being the role model for this team at the moment that in an ideal world, I would say that he should at least sit out a couple of games. But the fact that Mickey hasn't played a single game on the left and he plays there every match for Netherlands at the moment, right? Because they've got a preferred centre-backs, right? They've obviously looked at their squad and thought, well, hang on, we can cover this. And Mickey actually offers us probably more balance and pace and everything else that he does down the wing. And his crossing probably as well. I would imagine if he actually gets into, to do it. But he has to try it. Why has he not tried it even for 45 minutes and then just see how it goes with Romero and Danzo? We don't even know if they're going to get caught on the break where it's like, having to make like recovery challenges and stuff. But the lack of...
Just a quick one as well. It looks like Van der Ven's had a row with a fan tonight as well. There's more
him
images.
And Polina are in with the fans apparently.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that. Okay,
yeah.
Well, that's great, isn't it?
An issue, another problem. I see. These are a lot of problems that we've got going on at the club at the minute.
I'm sending them across to you now, Gary.
If Van der Ven was a left back, that pace, he'd pass most of the fullbacks he's against and be able to whip a good ball in. I really think it's worth a shout, 100%.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Equally, like he came out on the Gary Neville podcast, didn't he, and say that I prefer to play at left back.
He said it clearly.
He said it. I prefer playing there, but I enjoy playing centre back or somewhere along those words. But I mean, there's 500 of you, 507 of you watching, 508 now watching. And please let us know in the comments. Would you give Mickey van der Ven a go at left back? Because at the moment we're struggling centre back wise. I think Romero for me is really struggling. I'll be open to Danzo coming in. Look,
even Dragusin at the moment, yeah,
we're really struggling.
Yeah.
And poor old Pedro Porro, he is
Needs a rest.
he's on his last legs. He is knackered. It's really disappointing. But there was a good start to the game, opening five minutes, Phil. Good little back heel from Xavi Simons into Matisse Tel. I'm a big fan of Matisse Tel. Looked positive again, as he did at the weekend, and slot home a really lovely finish.
Yeah.
He's really staking a claim for that left-hand side.
Well, yeah, I mean, and look, I mean, the thing is as well, you could turn it around and then actually say, well, again, why hasn't Tel been playing more? You know, why hasn't he had a chance out on that left? Because whenever he has come on and, you know, got 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 45 minutes, he's done things that look dangerous pretty much in every game. And then he's disappeared for like 5 games, you know, and hasn't got a single minute. Obviously, we don't know what the deal is behind the scenes. I don't know if he's, sometimes not good in training or consistent over the week or something. We don't know any of these things, but you know, he's doing really well, and he should start for me right now every game on the left. You know, even Odebert, I would say at the moment, play him on the right. But Tel, he did so well today. It was a bit Sonny-esque for me in some respects, just cutting in, scoring a goal, probably from a position where he gets it on the wing that we wouldn't expect to score a goal nowadays, but that's what other teams do. It's basically like the same as what Semenyo did, isn't it? It's like a kind of a similar kind of goal, right? You know, you cut inside and you finish it. Something like the, the Nigerian lad, that some of us have been calling for.
Lookman.
Lookman as an example, right? You know, he scores goals like that, but he can also play with his left as well. But that's something that we've been missing, right? Ever since Sonny's gone, is to score a chance, maybe out of one of those lower, you know, create your chance and then score with a really good shot into the bottom corner. And that's what he's done again there. And he needs to start on the left now. His stamina looks good as well. But again, you'd probably have to turn it around and say, well, look, why hasn't he had more game time on the left? And also, just imagine if you did play Mickey van der Ven on the left and Tel on the left. You know, straight away, that is balance and that is danger. You know, these are just things that if you take a step back from the whole kind of, we've got injuries, which we have, obviously it's a massive impact on our game. You know, we'd probably be 10 points, 8 points, whatever, better off if we had some of those players back. But there is decisions with our squad. You know, and we can talk about Bergwall as well, obviously the positions that he's been playing, it was mentioned before, but there's decisions being made with players in our squad who are playing in certain roles that you probably have to question a bit more if you really want to dig into it. Like, why are they continuing to play there? Why are certain players not getting a chance? Xavi today, just to quickly mention him, I thought actually looked quite good whenever he, you know, got the ball in good positions, and he seemed to be kind of going into 50-50s, winning the ball on occasion, scrapping, you know, got away from his player a few times and kind of ran through. Maybe he faded a bit after that, to be fair, as well. But, you know, he's missed 3 games. Does that mean he's not match fit again? I don't know. But
Potentially. Callum, hear me out on this one. Xavi Simons as the deep line in number 8, but alongside of Palhinha. I mean, Palhinha, again, he looked decent in the first half. I actually thought he was relatively good. Obviously scored an absolute worldie. There's 26 million worth of punt there. But equally on that side, for me, he needs a ball carrying midfielder with him, because at the minute there is gaping holes where he's trying to cover 2 people's positions and he's being caught. But their first goal, Bournemouth's first goal, the ball was we couldn't get out. There was a massive hole in the centre midfield again. Goes out wide, crosses in, and obviously for Romero. But Palhinha needs to stay in between his goalposts, both goalposts as the number 6. Is he worth the punt or not for you?
It's such a hard one, mate, to be honest, because I say 1 week, no, 1 week he does something magical, but I honestly don't see him as the answer, to be honest. I don't think there's enough versatility there to what we do need. But then there's glaring weaknesses elsewhere as well as shown tonight. So, in all honesty, mate, I think we're screwed either way. We could punt 26 million on him, but we're still then going to need to get a ball carrier like Walton, Gibbs White, Anderson, someone who can play as an actual 8, someone, or a versatile backup 10, and then we lose the aspects of other people tonight as well. It's so depressing, isn't it, when we talk about this stuff, because we try to speak about one thing and then it just opens up a whole can of worms on other stuff. That's the problem that we get now. And I try to stick to one thing, but it leads to something else, which I don't want to do. I want to keep it structured. But Paulinho had a decent game tonight, but has been poor in others. Would I take a punt on him? Probably not. Do I see merit to it, though? Yes. I know he scored a good goal and he scored a couple of good bicycle kicks, but it just sums up our season. It's stop, start, stop, start. His performances echo what Spurs do, sort of thing at the moment. It's frustrating, mate.
Very hit and miss at the moment. Si, just coming to you. There's real lacking in that middle for a progressive ball player. As I said, with huge gaps, especially in that second goal as well. But Krupa is unmarked in the 6-yard box, completely unmarked. Try to just, again, what's going on with that back line at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Gary, I think the first and second goal, there wasn't too much difference in them, really. It was 2 crosses from Marcus Tavernier, and they were decent balls in the box. You got to give it where it is. And most of the defenders looked like they were ball watching more than knowing where their men were. And it's the man snuck in. I noticed from the second goal that Porro was at the left back position and Spence was in the right back position. So, I mean, that was a bit bizarre to me in the first place. So they were a bit all over the shop. And it's as soon as he come on there and cut it back, you just knew what the result was going to be at the end of it. But Romero's ball watching, he's been guilty of that quite a bit this season, in my opinion. Yeah. Not watching his man and just watching the ball, where it's the basics in football, isn't it? You know what I mean? You got to know where your man is. And you don't expect that from a World Cup winner, really.
No, Phil, just coming to you. Injuries plagued us last season, defensive areas. We started to struggle offensively with injuries. And now today, Bentancur and Bergvall go down with what looks like muscle injuries, on top of Kudus that went down at the weekend with a muscle injury. We've just got no luck with injuries at the minute, have we?
No, we don't. I mean, last season I did kind of blame Ange and his regime for a lot of the hammies that we got, to be honest. There was a lot of kind of injuries that happened in training and stuff as well, right? I mean, today, look, a lot of other teams are getting injuries as well, muscular injuries as well. So it probably just shows that, there's too many games being played, right, in football at the moment, all of that stuff. But in our case, to be fair, even looking at someone like Bentancur, I don't know how many games he's played this season, but it's probably quite a lot. I know, like, Frank has, swapped his midfield out very often, but I kind of get the feeling that Bentancur has played the majority of games, and maybe he's also overplayed. He's kind of also, I think, a bit lost in this team in terms of what role he's supposed to be doing. Is he supposed to be the like a number 8? Is he supposed to be a defensive number 6? Is he supposed to be like an all-rounder? You know, when he's playing next to Paulinho, what's his role like exactly? Is he supposed to act? Is he actually supposed to pick up the ball and try and pass it positively? I don't know, but he's injured now. Yeah, Bergval's injured. I don't know. It didn't look good on Bergval, to be honest.
No, just coming back to your point on Bentancur, he's played 20 games today in the Premier League this season.
Can I just bring up something on the Bergval?
He has played every game this season. He's been a part of it. Yeah. He might not have started every game, but he's been a part of it. Yeah, go ahead, Cal.
On the Bergval injury, this one was totally avoidable. It was a wayward crap pass, which shouldn't have happened, and that's what put him off the pitch to go down. We are creating our own problems now. Simple as that. We're not just doing it on the pitch. We're killing our own players through poor passing and wayward passing. And it's all this sideways passing bollocks. It's crap. It's not good. And it just invites pressure, and then it puts pressure on the players to try and run after dead ball situations, which then ultimately results in injury. And that's ultimately what's happened today. And like you say, if they are muscular, we've probably lost both of them for a minimum of a month. Now, Sar's not back until the end of Feb.
I think you could see from Bergval's reaction that he thinks it's a bad one and he's going to be out for
I mean, Bentancur walked off with the aid of the physios. I don't know whether Bergval did. I didn't see the aftermath.
Yeah, but look at Kulusevski. He walked off with the aid of the physio, and he's been down. You know, he just got a knock. And he's been gone for a year. So
guys, did we change our medical backroom staff in the close season?
Yeah.
3 times. You've changed them 3 times in 18 months.
Yeah.
So
we've changed a lot.
We feel all the blame was on Angie's training regime last season.
Yeah.
Surely we've got to start looking elsewhere. Then.
Do you know what? As well, Phil, Callum, Sire, everybody watching, 640 of you. Do we owe Ange Postecoglou an apology?
No. He put a bandage over stuff that already had problems, and he just made them worse because he played kamikaze balls.
That's a no from Callum. Phil,
go on, Phil.
It's a no. I agree with Cal. It's a no from me. It's a no from me. I'm going to keep it very simple.
Si, before I answer the question.
Yeah, it's a no from me. I think this is something that's been coming for a few years previous. You know, with the squad and everything. So I don't think we owe Ange an apology whatsoever. Like really.
Just a quick one. Going live now. So Thomas Frank on drinking from an Arsenal cup. I definitely did not notice it. It would be completely stupid of me to take it if I knew. It's a little bit sad in football that I need to be asked about it. I would never do something that stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's clearly
I believe him.
Yeah, somebody at Brentford has gone, let's try and have a laugh.
Was it the weekend they played against Arsenal, wasn't it? Or something like that. They played, so that's probably it was probably left over. He's been given a drink and someone's thought, fuck it, we'll just be clever and try and get some stuff.
Someone's trying to be clever, someone's trying to jump in on it. You know, someone is trying to throw him under the bus.
Just to back up what you're saying as well, Gary, obviously we all read the embargoed sections after the press conferences from Ali Gold and all the other journos. Last night he said that with Vinay Venkateshan, he feels that he will get a lot of patience after what Vinay gave Arteta at Arsenal. And this kind of exemplifies that Frank's smart. He won't fuck himself over to get knocked out of the job because he knows this is his big chance. And realistically, he's a very nice bloke, Frank. He's very misunderstood. And yes, we're all frustrated on the pitch, and I still stick by it. I'm not Frank out. We're all hurt. We're all reacting. We're all very pissed off. We're venting our frustration, but he's got patience. People will have to be patient with him because he's had 6 months, for Christ's sake. We didn't have a winning format before, let alone bloody now, do we?
No. He said in the press conference before the game yesterday that Callum was alluding to, he was asked, well, he was asked if he believes Vinay Venkateshan is being more patient with him, like Mikel Arteta, and he said, no doubt about that. Plus, he knows what good looks like and how, unfortunately, it takes some time to get where good should look like. That's definitely beneficial because he understands the journey we're on. He's clearly, in my eyes, been given a full backing from Vinay. That I don't see that as a vote of confidence or anything. That is backing from him.
Yeah.
But I did say earlier on one of my TikToks that I genuinely believe that Vinay wants this to work. But if results keep going the way they are, I can't see him being here.
Gareth, we were saying earlier, we lose to Villa the weekend, get knocked out the FA Cup. There's nothing left really for us for the rest of the season. I mean, we're only going to go so far in the Champions League. We might not even get out of the group stage there. We're not going to do anything in the Premier League. I think we get knocked out this weekend. The pressure will be just massive on him, I think.
We have to beat Dortmund, don't we? Like, I mean, a draw's not enough.
We need to win one of the 2 games.
Yeah, what we got Dortmund. Is it Dortmund or Frankfurt?
Dortmund or Frankfurt. We need to win one of those to progress. Otherwise, then we're out of everything. But what I think with Ange last season is why he probably kept his job is that he'd clearly put all the eggs in one basket. And I looked at that Europa League and thought, we can win this. There might be 1 or 2 teams that we might not. But if we can get past them or they get knocked out, we can win this. I can't look at anything at the moment where anything is likely to happen. Whereas that is why I think if we do go out on Saturday, I don't think he's going to be here on Monday.
Yeah, I agree.
Callum disagrees with me, though. Callum, you can express your difference of view.
It's so difficult because, and this is maybe more personal, I'm just sick of chopping and changing.
I am as
doing it. And realistically, who are we going to go and get? Matt Wells has gone. The coach, and we were talking about it yesterday, weren't we, Gary? It was like we're saying all the coaching staff will go if Frank goes because they're all his blokes. So the options to come in and replace Frank if he goes. Ryan Mason, who has just been sacked from West Brom, so that doesn't look very good. Getting sacked in the Championship, then coming in as a yes man for Spurs. Stuart Lewis, who has no experience coaching at top level, or Wayne Burnett. So we are literally clutching at straws. If not, maybe Dean Brill. Dean Brill's a freaking goalkeeping coach, for Christ's sake. That's who we've got and all that. And I just can't stand by. I just can't stand by it, to be honest. I would rather use this season just to blood people, get it sorted, and then reassess in the summer if we are going to do anything. Because if you do something in the transfer window, you look like a mug.
I agree with you, Cal. And as you know, I'm Thomas Frank in as well. I don't think that he should get the boot. But at some point, if you're not picking up the results and you're not like blowing away teams and just being unlucky, and it keeps on going. As we said as you said with Ange, right, last season, it was exactly a year ago, wasn't it, when we played in the FA Cup, I guess, right, in the third round, and everything was already going wrong. And already back then, you know, people were saying he's going to get fired next week. He's going to get fired, and it was only because we were one of the favourites for the Europa League. That's a fact. We were one of the favourites, and we had a chance.
I need to interrupt you because Thomas Frank has said in his press conference, I'm not going to read all of this quote, but the first part is quite important. I think it's very tough to sit here right now and we haven't got anything out of an overall a good performance. I think we started well. We got 1-0 up, conceded 2 goals on the second phase of set pieces, especially the second one. We needed to do much better, but I really liked the character in the team and from the players. They gave everything. Am I watching a different game? Am I watching? Because I've watched, and we all have. I'm 40 years old. I've been watching this pretty much my entire life, and I watch every football. You could name a league, I'm probably watching it in Europe. And what was good about that performance? yeah, we showed some character, but they've not won in 11 games.
I think second half,
three and a half months.
We looked a little bit better in the second half. We
They didn't give up.
a little bit better. If you're clutching at straws, we did look a little bit better in the second half. I think as soon as we scored the goal at the start of the game, I think we just went backwards again and just started sitting back, trying to hold on to the 1-0.
Yeah. At least they didn't give up. They didn't throw in the towel completely, right, in the second half or anything. It's not like they stopped playing. That it was clear that Bournemouth were all over us. Then we, went and sat super deep or something, right? They didn't do that. So that for me, that's a bit of a positive. But the fact is, we conceded 3 goals. We could have conceded more. In phases of the game, as you said just there, we should have gone straight after that 1-0 and pressed like hell and just gone for that 2-0, and we didn't. And across the 90 minutes, Bournemouth, they played with a bit more energy in certain phases. I think, to be honest, they played with precision, and we were still misplacing the pass. And then obviously Bergvall, as Cal, said, he gets given an absolute shocker of a pass. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. And that's where, again, Thomas Frank coming out and in his mind, actually, I get why I understand why he's saying that. And I don't think, there is positives there, theoretically. But when he comes out like that after another loss against someone who's who hasn't won in 11 games, it's not a good look, and it's not good for the fans. People will take.
We're at the point now, Phil, is you're praising effort. Now
that's it. That's exactly it, Gary. That's exactly it. How low has our bar gone?
Yeah.
How low has our bar gone and our expectation gone?
There is things for me that are unnegotiable. One is being on time, one is being coachable, and one is working hard. There are 3 non-negotiables for me in anything. We are at this point now where we're saying at least they didn't give up and they tried.
I mean, the thing is as well that we've all played competitive sports at one level or another, all 4 of us here. So we all know that we could put an effort in there just to get through a game or get through a round or something like that. But how far? I mean, these players are paid to play. They're meant to do it. So, and there's a damning thing that someone who me and Gary follow quite a lot, Lily White Rose, has gone, do you as the fans of Spurs official want Thomas Frank to be relieved of his duties? So over 6,000 people have voted on there on X at the moment. And me being the happy clapper that people always accuse me of being, I've voted for no. There is 91% saying that they would want Frank relieved of duty now, compared to 9% saying they want him to stay.
Yeah.
That's how far.
It's damning.
It's damning.
If we go out this coming weekend, I think the pressure's going to be unmountable on top of the board to get rid of him, and I think he'll be gone after this weekend if we get knocked out.
I tell you,
so you mentioned that we were better in the second half. Thomas Franks also said the second half, I think we were completely on top and kept going, even through disappointments and small setbacks, which we talked about before. We work very, very hard with these players and the team to do that. Don't score inside the post from Richie. Overturn the penalty. Keep going. Getting the equaliser 2-2. After that, I think we were closer to winning than Bournemouth are, with Mickey's header. With all the good opportunities, so to sit here and concede in 5-6 minutes of extra injury time is painful, very tough, but that's football. It is football, and they're fine margins because, as you said, Mickey van der Ven overturned penalty, tipped over the bar from a good header. Richarlison, I mean, it was probably harder to miss from 4 yards out than it was to hit the post. They're fine margins, really. You look at West Ham. I don't know if anyone watched the West Ham game yesterday. They were 2-0 up, disallowed, and then they lost. These are the fine margins in the Premier League at the moment. It's worrying times for us. Phil, just asking you though, the double pivot. you can't be conceding as easy as we are with that double pivot. It's meant to be there for protection, but we have gaping holes in there.
I don't even know what to say about the double pivot or the centre midfield anymore, if I'm being honest. Like, again, I think that our centre midfield, whether it's a double pivot or a 3 or I don't know what, like, it's just so ineffective. And whoever we seem to play there, to be honest, as a change in the partnering out, it doesn't seem to really change anything. It was good to get Archie Gray in there, right? And I was so happy that Archie Gray got that run of games as well, because I thought that he did have a positive influence on it in terms of a bit of control. But even then, like, just the overall effectiveness of where the people are standing, where the holes are, you know, cracks in the midfield, it's just constant there. And, you know, there's so many fans that are anyways against, you know, Bentancur and Palhinha playing together. I'd probably agree with that. Although with a caveat, in some away games against maybe the top teams where you are going to sit back genuinely as a kind of a game plan more, than maybe you play it. But I don't know. I don't really know what more to say about it, because that double pivot is going to probably go down in Tottenham Hotspur, you know, history. Yeah, folklore. Yeah, history is the wrong thing. That's almost too positive, is it? It's going to be like, you know, when someone's famous or infamous, you know, it's going to go down in years to come as some memory.
So I just come to you this comment from X from Steve Lockwood. I think it's a really good comment, actually. This is for you, Si. Any win at the moment, playing the way we are, is just papering over the cracks. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with you too, Gary. To be honest, it's, you know, we are a fan base that if we win one, we think we're going to go on a roll now, and our fortunes have changed. But then, lo and behold, the week after, we go and, like, pardon my French, F up, like, against lower opposition, bottom of the table. So, yeah, it's just papering over the cracks. I'm surprised nothing's happened so far in the transfer window. I know there's been a few, like, whispers, but
I've got a theory on that.
To go straight in and us getting a player in the first 10 days of all this talk.
I have a theory on that, Si, and I'll ask all of you this. My theory is that Vinay is backing him. There's other people within the club that aren't, and there's an internal sort of struggle going on, and they're not prepared to pay the money out now. They want to see how things are going in this week, because the FA Cup is an important trophy, and I think if it goes out this week, this is why I think we're 8 days in now. So I don't think we've seen any movement, because I don't think they're convinced by him, and they're not willing to put that money up front. If we'd have seen some money put down, or at least having those big links, you know, when we have like Romero coming out, or some of these journals that come out saying Tottenham have bid for something, we're not seeing anything, which makes me think that there is a split in the ownership there. Callum, just come to you on that. What do you think on my theory? Do you think I'm way off, or it's just conspiracy or potential? For me, I think if he loses on Saturday, I don't think he's going to be here on Monday.
I think there's a merit to everything you said, mate, but I think that there is stuff going on in the background. It's just that Spurs have ironically tried to do their business very quiet over the last couple of years to stop people poaching them and all that. I think there is stuff going on. It's whether they're, i.e. what and we'll put it in inverted commas, of club signings compared to manager signings and all that. That's where maybe the lines are blurred. But I think realistically, they are planning on backing him. It's just who they're trying for. And I mean, one of the ones that we've seen a lot of links to is Diamande. Well, he's at the AFCON anyway. So even if we did sign him now, he wouldn't be coming in until when, who does he play for? Is it Ivory Coast or something like that? If they get knocked out or win it. So realistically, there's no real correlation there. But I do think they will back him. I just don't know how. And I think that, there might be questions over him, but he's still got backers from what's been reported in that boardroom. But I feel like, and the reason why I've added the brick wall behind me is because I do feel like every time that Spurs play at the moment, I feel like banging my head against a brick wall. So I think it kind of ironically did work. It's not Project Spurs, it's Project Brick Wall for me at the moment to sort of make it more bearable.
We could do an episode of Project Brick Wall, which it does feel like you're hitting your head against it sometimes. There's 710th people watching at the moment, which is easily our biggest viewing in the month that we've been doing this. So really appreciate everybody watching. Please let us know in the comments what you think on Thomas Frank. We'll read them out. Phil, just coming to you, is my conspiracy theory wide of the mark, or do you think that perhaps the reason we're not getting any movement in the transfer market is because there's a struggle behind the scenes between Vinay and maybe some other senior members of the heritage there?
I think I'll probably side a bit more with Cal's take on it. You know, that there's stuff going on in the background that we really just don't know about. However, I think there is merit in what you've said, and I think that there could be an element of that like coming into play, and that may have even changed. You know, the dynamics may have even changed over the last few days on that. You know, we did the Brennan business super quick. I think it was the right business to do, and I honestly don't hold anything against the club for kind of, you know, selling him and not getting in a player straight away, because, you know, there's been some takes online, you know, that, you know, we've done a really bad job because, you know, we don't have another winger from the bench kind of thing. I know we've got these injuries. I think there is merit though in what you've said though, Gary, because, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if you know, Vinay is also the new guy that's come in, hasn't he? He's been there pretty much the same time. He has supported, or, you know, he did the Arteta thing, probably in different circumstances as well, though. You know, not every rebuild is the same, you know, in terms of where the club exactly is at, or, you know, what kind of football that manager is playing, you know. And I can see that there is maybe other people on the board, you know, whether it's, you know, Viv or other people involved, you know, in decisions, who may have reservations about sanctioning like big money moves. You know, as I said, we're talking 50, 60, 70 million moves, probably more if we actually would be prepared to put the money down for someone like Wharton. And again, we understand that we're interested in players like Wharton, but we don't really get any kind of clear update in terms of whether Wharton's interested or whether there's a possibility of doing a deal. That's the only thing that I'm, like you said, you know, like as soon as the bid for Sousa went in, it was very quick to break, you know, that bid has been made. And I would actually assume as well then that we haven't made a single other concrete bid yet for any other player. It's all been discussions with agents and probably initial discussions with clubs via agents, but no direct, you know, kind of like hardcore bids going in. Otherwise, we would have heard about it. And that does concern me a bit, though, to be honest, because like at the end of the day, come the weekend, come Villa, it's going to be the 10th, 11th of January. So we're a third of the way through. The days go past quickly, and you know how long sometimes these deals take to do, right? I know Eze didn't work out in the end, but that dragged on for like 2 weeks or something.
3 weeks.
Or 3 weeks.
Felt a long time.
Semenyo took it looked like Semenyo was going to be done quite quick, but Semenyo took a couple of weeks, right? And that was in theory a simple release clause being met. You know, and it was quite clear that he wanted to go to City. So, you know, these negotiations can take time. So I think there's merit to it, Gary, and I think you're probably right in some respects. I think there's something going on there.
Yeah.
But I would also say that we are being active. I think we are going out there, but is it delaying us hitting the trigger, like really putting them? Maybe. It could be. To be honest,
I just feel like we're not progressing because we're not sure on what we've got, and we can't keep the rinse and repeat. I know, but something I said on X, I feel like we just need to rip everything up and start again. But we haven't got an ownership that's prepared to do that. There is other owners that potentially would around in different clubs. But I just feel like we need a massive hard reset. But yeah, Si, go ahead.
Yeah, just going with your theory, what you just said. If I'm mistaken, wasn't Thomas Frank appointed by Daniel Levy?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was there when Daniel Levy was there, but he was
There.
part of a 30-man sort of
30-man
shortlist
thing.
that
So-
him and
Yeah.
Vinay were part of.
Vinay
right?
was involved.
And so
Yeah.
Vinay was involved.
Yeah.
that I tend to sway to what you're saying, Gary. Is I think due to that there's going to be I don't know 50-50 or whatever that don't want Thomas Frank there and 50 that do. So they're undecided on where to go due to it being, if you want, that it would still be classed as a Daniel Levy appointment at the end of the day, as he's still the one who signed off on everything when he was there.
And just coming on the Daniel Levy situation as well, obviously this is the first transfer window without Daniel Levy. Yesterday, before the press conference for tonight's game against Bournemouth, Thomas Frank was asked about let me just grab the quote. Thomas Frank on Daniel Levy not operating the transfer process this window. He said, "My experience is very limited. As I understood, he was the one that was signing off and negotiating the final bits with transfers. He will not do that now, and that would be more down to Joan Lang and Fabio Paratici doing that job. We have a good recruitment side with numbers behind it, looking at the players and then taking them in the right direction. That is down to Joanne and Fabio to do that job with the agents and get the deals done. That's the big difference. The big part of that for me was this part. We have a good recruitment side with numbers behind it, looking at the players and then taking the right direction. We are looking FC, monitoring FC. We seem to do this on every transfer. We don't seem to be like a Manchester City and ruthless. That's what separates us at the moment in the two ownership groups, I think.
To be fair though, like wasn't it actually almost like a bit of a Paratici tactic as well though from the beginning, where he would kind of like line up, I don't know, 15 players and then work out which ones are kind of in any shape or form doable, and then pick 5 and then kind of, go in for them, and then we'd end up with someone who would be acceptable or whatever. Like you're right though, Gary, like we never seem to take the initiative when it comes to transfers generally, if we're talking about bigger name players. Like obviously we've got this Sousa lad coming in who's, we bid 8 million for him initially, right? And we went up to 9 million. And now supposedly we're going to maybe go up to 15. Okay, let's see. But for big players, that you need to go in and kind of be very decisive probably about offering, what you're going to offer them, what their responsibilities are. We seem to be, or at least we come across to be very passive. And all I can say at the moment is like, what is actually going on with Paratici?
Well, yeah, there's still no movement, is there? And those comments yesterday suggesting that he is making those deals, and Fiorentina have been linked with Freddie Dragishin as well, and obviously they've taken Mano Sonoban. Callum, just coming to you just before we wrap up, because I appreciate it's getting late now for everybody. It was written on his birthday, the team he turned down on his last game at home, in the 96th, 7th minute, whatever it was, that Anton Semenyo would score that goal. Now, did any of you put any money on him scoring tonight?
I wish I
was
bloody
tempted.
did.
Yeah.
Go on, Carl.
Yeah, I wish I did, to be honest, but I literally made a mistake with 2 scratch cards over the weekend. I put £2 on it. I scratched them out. I thought, fucking hell, I've won 200 quid. No, it turns out I got the logos wrong way round. Turns out I'd won 4 quid. So I'd only made back the money that I spent on the scratch cards and all that. So I have given up on betting on that one. But realistically, you could always see that sort of blueprint there, couldn't you? I mean, he had a poor game up until that, and then we leave such the amount of space we left for it,
Yeah.
and realistically, I mean, it was kind of a carbon copy of Tell's goal at the start, weren't it, a little bit? And I think realistically, Petrovic should have done better for that goal. Vicario should have done better for this, but it was poor defending on our part. How can you leave so much space for a player of Semenyo's class just to have a free hit from outside the box? The amount of goals we've conceded from outside the box this year is a joke, and yet we can't score from out the box. We like to just play little sideways motions, try and get the perfect little tap in or tick-a-tack or whatever crap it is. But yeah, it was just writing on the wall, and he didn't even cry when he went off or anything like that. He just waved at the fans, said thanks very much, and just went and sat down on the bench. We are Dr. Tottenham.
Thanks very much. I'm off to triple my wages and then potentially sit on the bench at Man City and win a few trophies. And he'll play there, but it's disappointing. It was written.
He'll be the new Rob Green, won't he? He won't play, and he'll come away with like 20 trophies from there.
No, I think he'll play, but and good luck to him. Look, he's a quality player. I wanted him at Tottenham badly, and it's just a shame that Man City again, for whatever reason, wanted the fifth or sixth winger. But again, that's the difference between Tottenham and Manchester City. They've got an ownership there that are listening to that manager. They've got alignment from top to bottom, and they're going, okay, what do you need? And Pep Guardiola's saying, I need this player. And the heritage there, not going, well, you've got 5 other of them. I want him. And I think that's a big difference. I'm just going to ask you all one question, and everybody in the chat, please join in. There is 750 of you, which again is the largest we've had on any of our streams, so really appreciate that. Do drop over to YouTube as well if you can, and just give us a like. It really helps the algorithm because it's still a very new channel. There's only about 80 subscribers on there, so if I can get some over there, that will really help me and Callum massively. So Callum, just starting with you, where do we go from here?
We go again Saturday, mate. That's all we can do. Simple as that. And I know you'll be at the game. I'll probably end up doing post-match. Realistically, knowing the way that it is, I'll probably have the boys with me as well. So I will be reliving this. But I sent this to a group last night. I said, through happiness and through sadness, Spurs have been my club for, I'm 29 in February, so nearly over 20 plus years they've been my club. They'll still be my club when I die, one way or another. I'm not changing or anything like that. I will stick through them through thick and thin. It may kill me supporting them, but I will do it. Simple as that. So I'll continue to back them one way or another, no matter how much I get frustrated, mate.
I'm very much the same. I was here before Thomas Frank. I'll be here long after Thomas Frank. And I did think about this earlier during the game, which did make me chuckle a little bit, and hopefully it might make you laugh. I thought to myself, I think I might have said it to my wife. It's like, why do I keep watching this? And then I sat down and said to myself, well, who would I go and support? Traditionally, you go and support who your dad supports, right? Well, my dad's a West Ham fan, so that ain't happening. They're worse off than we are. So I might just stick it out here for a few more years. I'm 40. This is probably one of the worst times of being a Tottenham fan. The sort of the early 90s was pretty tough at school, being a Tottenham fan. I am due to be there on Saturday. However, I have got the flu. I'm not feeling great. I'm not sure if I'm going to go.
Has that suddenly just come on?
It came on. It came on. I went to MK Dons last week and it was freezing. Then I went to Tottenham and I was so cold on the weekend, and I think I've just got it from there. Progressively, I've got them. They were worse as the days gone on. So does that mean
I have to go in your place? So I have to go and live it live, and you get to have it at home, and you do the podcast, and I spend 4 hours of my life I'm never getting back.
Well, there's a potential. If I feel like I do tomorrow, I probably won't go on Saturday, which means you can have my ticket.
Oh God.
Yes, but I probably will go. But Phil, just coming to you, where do we go from here?
Similar to what Cal said, really. There's nothing more that we can do is to go again on Saturday, see what the injury situation's like tomorrow, on Friday with the guys today. Frank might have to mix it up a bit for Saturday again. Be interesting to see what he does at left back. But look, I mean, I don't really hold that much hope for Saturday. You know, we're not really favourites, are we, for that game? And if we go out of the cup, then there's going to be so much added noise online and in the stadium. And then we go again. Who are we playing in the league after that? What's the game after
West
that?
Ham.
West Ham.
So I mean, it's Dr. Tottenham again, isn't it? Really, up to a certain extent, you know. And then it's Dortmund at home on the Tuesday, and we need. I think we need to win that because Frankfurt away is going to be tough. You know, the Frankfurt players have had a bit of a winter break as well. They're going to be refreshed, so we need to win it. So.
We found that difficult last year.
It was difficult, and you know they gave away the keeper punched Madders, didn't he? Gave away a pen, which I think was the 1-0, and we finished 1-0. But they had a few chances. It's going to be tough. But look, I mean, I'm the same as you guys. I'm 45, you know now, and I started supporting Spurs in '87. That was the year when we were in the running to win 4 trophies, and we didn't win a single one of them. Right, so. Started off in a good way. Okay, we won the cup in '91. That was definitely the highlight of the next 8 years. It's a very tough time at school. But look, I mean, we've been there. We've done the roller coasters. It's a constant roller coaster. We'll never give up on Spurs. It's always going to be in our heart. But man, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough.
The only time it feels like it's going in the right direction is when I press on the opposite screen over here and put Football Manager on. There seem to be able to do something over there, but
Gary, that's
in reality.
I mean, all 4 of us have known each other for a long time, and what everyone doesn't actually know is that Sai is actually younger than me. It's just this season that has made him go grey. Now, that's how much Spurs have killed the poor bloke. That's the problem with it.
It's about right.
Just finishing with you, Sai. We are currently 14th in the Premier League. We have won 2 games. We've won 1 game, lost 2 games, drawn 2 games in the last 5. If we lose next weekend against West Ham at home, which is very possible, and Bournemouth and Leeds win, who Bournemouth obviously won today, Leeds are hit and miss, we could end up in 16th place. No, we couldn't. We could end up in 15th place. 15th, so we could drop right down. There is
How many
no progression.
points above the bottom 3?
So West Ham are currently on 14 and we are on 27.
These next 2 games, I think basically Thomas Frank's Spurs career rides on these next 2 games, in my opinion.
It's very similar to Ange last season, isn't it? He's got incredibly lucky that there is 3 absolutely dreadful teams at the bottom of that league, because West Ham are 7 points away from Forest.
But guys, we know that West Ham team that's bottom of the table is not going to turn up at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They're going to be well up just for like rubbing our noses in it more. So we will really have to be at the top of our game. But
they've still spent 60 million this week on a striker, a midfielder, and trying to get a goalkeeper as well. So I mean, have they sacked Nuno yet? Do we know by any chance?
I suspect they probably will.
I think they're going to. First manager to be sacked twice in 1 season in the Premier League.
But he was sacked. His last game for Nottingham Forest was against West Ham, and he was sacked after that. And then obviously, potentially, he could get sacked after the Nottingham Forest game. I think he'd probably be the first manager in history to get sacked in the same fixture twice in the same season. If that does happen, I suspect he might go. Actually, they are a mess at the moment. As I say, all my family, my wife and all her dad and brothers are all West Ham. So I hear about it all the time. They are a mess at the moment. They will turn up. They will turn up. Let's have a look quickly before we log off. They are playing Queen's Park Rangers at home.
Just quickly as well, there are a few accounts circulating on X. Apparently, there's been a sporting meeting called for tomorrow morning at Spurs to assess the situation. They are shit sources, to be honest, but when a few start picking it up, we will start seeing something with journos and all that. But it is Indicalia who called it, and realistically, they are not much better than the drive-through at Stansted McDonald's, to be honest. So for some of their stuff,
that's a rough McDonald's that as well, yeah.
Yeah, let's put it this way: we will see, but there is a lot of people are calling for it now. So we hope that they don't make any rash decisions, but if they do, then we stick by it one way or another, don't we?
So I'm just looking at a video that Chris Cowland has put out. He's wrote, "What a mess." Thomas Frank booing. Van der Ven has walked all of 20, 30 yards. He's gone right up to the fans and he's waving his hands at them like, "Come on," type scenario. Then there's security getting involved. Porro and Polina are also they're also confronting fans at the final whistle. Thomas Frank is being heavily booed. This football club is a mess at the moment.
Didn't this happen with one of Ange's away games?
Yeah, Ange had this as well.
The end of his tenure. It did, didn't it?
Ange had this as well. Yeah. Equally, there's another post I've just seen. And I'll just quickly go round to everybody before, because we'll log off, because I appreciate it's 11 o'clock at night. If we sack Frank now, who realistically do you want as caretaker manager and permanent? Cal, just quickly, 2 names that come to your head: caretaker and permanent, before we log off.
Permanent for me is Poch, caretaker, Scrooge McDuck.
Phil? Any Disney character?
No, not Disney, but caretaker, I don't know, we might as well go for Ozzy Ardiles. You know, get the seven strike. Well, we haven't got any attacking players, have we?
Get David
7-2-3 formation.
Fleety's still alive. Get Fleety. There we go.
Levy's gone, so you know he can come back now, can't he? I don't know. Realistically, caretaker, like literally, get Harry out of retirement. Seriously, just do it. It'll be funny if nothing else. Be a good laugh.
They said on the game earlier today, the commentators, that he's prepared to come back into football free of charge. Like, there you go. That's a win-win, isn't it?
Permanent in the summer, if we could get him, which I think we could, I would go for Nagelsmann. I'd still love him. I would still love him to be Spurs manager. I think it would be a dream, as long as he's backed enough. I think it would be a dream football and a dream appointment. But who knows? He wasn't. He didn't reject Spurs. No, like, you know, we had concrete discussions with Nagelsmann, right, a couple of years ago, whenever it was, right, concrete, and he wasn't against it. But I can't remember if it was Bayern and it was at the same time, or in the end, like, there was something about money. I don't think we wanted to pay him the salary.
He was on gardening leave. It was the gardening leave situation, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, compensation as well.
Yeah, because they'd already put him on gardening leave. They'd gotten in a replacement, but then didn't want to release him from his contract. So we would have had to pay like 15 million to get him out of a bloody garden.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Just let me know your caretaker and perm before I show my pictures, because I've got pictures for mine.
I'm with Phil. Harry Redknapp just getting back in, man motivator, 100%. And I just can see, if Frank goes, I can see Poch coming back, just so the board can get all the fans behind him. But I'd take Poch or Glasner, but I don't think Glasner will come to us.
Yeah, no, I think Glasner might end up at Man United. Something like that. Yeah. For me, this is obviously a silly one. This isn't realistic, because I don't think Mr. Bean is available at the moment. However,
what about Ted Lasso?
I'm not that quick. So I realistically now, I'll speak realistically. I think it would be Wayne Barnett. I think he would probably make the step up. It makes sense to me. He's doing a good job with the 21s and the academy. I think he would probably step up for the few games.
Gary, going on that line, I wonder, there's one name that we haven't mentioned, Simon Davis, head of academy youth development.
Yeah.
So he's obviously Wayne Burnett's boss and was Stuart Lewis's boss before. So he would theoretically be the most senior footballing man there. So that could be an option, but I don't know how much management stuff he's done. That's my
Yeah,
only
that's why I
concern
didn't
over
pick
it.
him. So I wasn't sure on the amount of management. The other one obviously was Stuart Lewis. He's in and around the first team anyway. So my thinking process, he probably wouldn't be it. Because we've gone through that with Ryan Mason. But I think Wayne Burnett would probably be the one for me. As I say, he's doing some real good things with our academy at the moment.
My fear as well with that, because me and you really rate Burnett, that if we promote him to interim and then someone else comes in to replace him, would he accept going down to being the under-21s manager again? Or because remember, we had that with Sherwood, didn't we? And all that in the past. And I don't want to screw that up for Burnett because he's a
I
very
wouldn't
good
want to see him leave. I don't want him to see him leave the football club. Somebody else would have to step in on an interim, but I think he'd be very good. He'd bring in, I think, again, look, I said earlier,
Play the youngsters.
Play some of these youngsters. Look, rip it all up and start again. Equally, though, there is one name for me, and it's always that name, and it will never not be that name. If this guy is a possibility in the summer, for a number of reasons, Mauricio Pochettino will unite the fan base, not completely, I'd say 90% of it, immediately. And a lot of us would sit there. He has got money in the bank with us, all of us. He's got money in the bank, and he can come in and say, look, lads, this ain't going to be overnight. This might take me a few years. And I guarantee you 90, 75%, 90% of the fan base will, okay, because we've got money in the bank with him.
Yeah.
Whereas the managers with Thomas Frank, he doesn't have money in the bank with us. And at the moment, the stuff he keeps saying is not good. If Poch was saying this stuff to me, I was having this conversation during the game with a friend. If Poch was saying some of this stuff, I'd be okay because you've got money in the bank, you know?
Yeah.
I get the whole argument he hadn't won anything, blah, blah, blah. But he was progressing that club to something that we'd never seen before. He just needed a little bit of backing. So for me, if he's available, he'll take the job. He'd take that tomorrow if he was out of business. If he wasn't at USA, he'd take it tomorrow. So that's for me. But again, there is 770 people watching, which really do appreciate dropping in with us. There's a number of other great channels live at the moment. I think Spurs Diehards are live at the minute. Drop over and see them. Chris Callan's got about 7,000 with him at the moment. Last one on Spurs got about 3,000, it looks like, from their X account. So drop in over and support the channels. We'll be back later on in the week. Hopefully we're reviewing the Villa game. It'll be either me or Cal, depending on how I feel hosting. And then
or if I ain't jumped in a bath with a toaster by then, but we shall see.
The Adams family over there. So yeah, hopefully we'll be back with you at the weekend, lads. Thanks again. Go and follow the guys everywhere. Callum's sort of obviously here at Project Spurs. You got Bromley Spurs down there with Si. You've got Frankfurt Spurs with Phil, as always. From me and the lads here, come on you Spurs.